the truth in our businesses. And every single business has DNA. It is made up of your experience, your history, your vision, your employees, your clients, everything that goes into that business DNA. And the business DNA is changing rapidly with AI. And it's no longer a way for you to be able to ignore it. You cannot ignore what is happening now. I'm going to share with you all of the AI applications that I use in our own family business and how you can use them too. And not to worry, at the end, I'm going to give you a download with every single thing that I'm showing you here, so you can look at it when you get back to your offices later on. You'll get a download, you'll have videos, you'll have handouts, you'll have all kinds of cool things to use. But my story about AI is a little personal. Now, my background is in tech. I was an international vice president of 2 countries for AT&T Wireless. And I was on the launch team that launched wireless data, which they said would never happen. It would never catch on. And then, when I came back from my international assignment, I bought a business coaching franchise. And throughout that, I met my husband, and we formed a plumbing company together. He's a plumber. I am not. But my husband is a very brave man. Here he is proposing to me on an airplane over Iowa on our way back to Detroit for our family meet and greet. Now, had I said no, he would have been in big trouble. What was he going to do, right? And luckily, some woman in the row there took his photo, and we have this for a remembrance. But a year and a half ago now, my husband became very, very ill. Now, he has asthma. And I know this wouldn't apply to anyone in this room, but he's the type of person, when he's sick, he doesn't go to the doctor. And what he was doing is he was having all this really bad asthma symptoms, and he would not go to the doctor. He was going online and just getting medications. But what started happening is I attached his watch to my phone, and his VOX, his oxygen absorption, kept dropping. And he ended up in the hospital. The doctor said hours within dying. And then a few months later, he gets out of the hospital. He's feeling a little bit better. We go camping, and he gets struck by lightning. And he is alive. And I have to remember to say that because I have had a line of mourners. I've had cards sent, the whole thing. He is alive and fine and still not going to the doctor. But that was the defining moment in our lives. I hated running the plumbing company. And I was out doing my own thing. So basically, I had 2 careers for a long time, and it was incredibly stressful. He hated managing people. And we said, you know what, that's it, the end. So with what I knew about AI, I needed to get our company ready so that we could sell it. And what I knew is companies now need to be emergent, or else they run the risk of being obsolete. And I won't bore you with the good to great analogies, et cetera. I'm sure you've heard them a million times. But there are companies and there are people who, through this next season, are not going to make it. They're not, because they're resistant to change. They don't believe this is as powerful as it is, and they think they know better than the rest of the world. But there's really no denying it. And should you be a little afraid of AI? Yes, you should. But also no. And it is my mission to be your tour guide, all things AI, to show you exactly how to use it safely, what you should be looking out for, and have a little bit of fun while we're at it. So our journey, in order to sell a company, we saved $170,000 of our operating budget on a $2 million company. So the financial people in the room are going, whoa, that is a lot of money. How did you do that? Well, we needed to do it because we weren't ready to sell. We made a lot of changes really fast. We automated our bookkeeping, saved $2,500 a month. I took over the marketing completely, and I saved us $5,000 a month by doing it myself using AI. We also automated all of our onboarding, which I'll show you here in a minute. We also found ways to recruit. We found an answering service that was AI. We were able to cut $20,000 of the budget doing that. So all around the organization, we were able to trim without an impact to our customer service, which is something that you need to know about right away. And what exactly, though, is this new kind of AI, and why is it so powerful now? Well, in the past, if you wanted to speak to a computer, you would need to know how to code, and you would need a coder and a developer, and all of these people to make the software work. So think about what you're using now. You're using QuickBooks, you're using Salesforce. All of these different programs, they were initially designed using code with developers, trials, yet on and on and on, which now is not necessary because the new large language models operate by voice and by human interaction. That's why you give it a prompt, also known as instructions, and it gives you a response. GPT. Now, everyone has heard of ChatGPT. I think I couldn't ask one person in here who has not heard of it. But what exactly does that mean? It is a generative automated transformer, pre-trained transformer. Pre-trained being the key word here. It is learning off of everything in the world. And that is why you hear a lot of news stories about copyright, the AI stole my stuff, it was training on my books, all of these things, on and on. You'll continue to hear that. The biggest lawsuit to keep an eye on is the New York Times versus OpenAI, which is the proud company behind ChatGPT. So that's something to keep an eye on, especially if you're seeing these transformative ideas. The newer versions now, however, are giving you citations of where it got the information, so you're able to make a decision whether you want to use it or not. But it is transforming information and giving you a response. These also are large language models, meaning that they speak in your language, back and forth. The thing that everyone is concerned about, and you will hear a variety of different answers on this, and statements of, we have AGI, we're getting AGI, we're close to AGI. AGI is when the computers start thinking for themselves and doing for themselves. And this is the big concern. OpenAI came out of the back like Secretariat and jumped in front of everybody who was, had this technology. Google DeepMind has had this AI technology for an incredibly long time. It's been used for years and years, but in order to let it loose, Google sort of held back a little bit, and so did Microsoft and the other big players. So this is definitely something that you should be concerned about, keep an eye on, but don't let it ruin your day, because it's happening whether we like it or not, and the easiest way is to just get on board. Now, I want to thank the large majority of you who responded to my survey. And here's a compilation of the survey that we sent out to you, and this is what you said. That you are using ChatGPT. Many of you are using Copilot, so I imagine you're on a 365 platform. That's usually what happens, especially in larger companies. You're using Gemini a little bit. That may have changed this week if you've seen all the really cool things Google put out. And you're using Copilot and other, I'm not exactly sure what that is. But what we're seeing here, too, is you want specific AI use cases, and we're going to give that to you today. 33% want short video tutorials. We're also giving you that today. And 15% need a basic overview. What I am seeing, you are not alone. It takes a lot of time to learn this stuff, and you are already busy, so it feels overwhelming. And I'm not going to lie. There is a big upfront load. It's like riding your bike up the hill, and that's the energy that you need to put into AI application in your organizations. And then you get it to run. And then, only do you get it to run, but you need to keep tweaking it. That is the key. Another thing we learned in the survey is larger accounts, the way you answered the questionnaire, is you were looking for more tools for forecasting, planning, business ops, those types of things. For the smaller organizations, you're looking for more practical tools that you can do strategic planning, content, efficiency learning, and really, AI is a dream come true for entrepreneurs. Because all of those things that you were not really great at, that you had to maybe go out and hire people and pay a lot of money for contractors and vendors and things like that to bring this into your companies, you now can do it yourself by automating it with AI. And there is a process to this. If you go and take AI and start shoving it into all the cracks of your company without a plan, you are going to be very disappointed. You're going to be frustrated. You will have spent a lot of money, bought a whole bunch of subscriptions that aren't working, and you're not going to get the results that you want. I call it going old school before you go new school. Because if you don't effectively map out where your issues are in your company and think about what you want to achieve and for the result, you're not going to get the results back. So limited team and bandwidth, thousands of clients with personalized offers. Interesting, Grok. So just really quick, the large language models. Grok by X, which is Elon Musk, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Gemini, Google products. There's a whole suite of them, but Gemini is their main AI product. Claude, Perplexity, the list goes on and on. Those are the top ones, however. But you will continue to see all of these companies darting in front of each other, and they all do something different. So it's like having a tool bag, and you go to do a repair, and you're pulling a different tool for a different thing. And that's what I'm going to show you. So also, in your industry, this is what you said in the survey. You had challenges creating processes for inventory and demand. You would like to be able to do that faster, better, more, in a better way. Time pressure. You're busy, you have deadlines, you have lots of things to keep up on. You're seeing rising costs wherever you turn. You are not alone. I talk to thousands of businesses each year, and this is what I'm hearing from everyone. Same story. Creative demands. Google may have solved that for us this last week. Marketing bandwidth, digital maturity. All of these things are what you said, and these are the things that we're going to help you solve. One of the things to remember when you are putting AI into place is this. We are going to automate the routine, and we are going to humanize the exception. And I will not sugarcoat this. Will there be some people who will lose their jobs during this whole revolution? And the answer is yes. But those are going to be the people who are not getting on board, not finding a new way, not reskilling, not retooling, not learning new products. If you look on Indeed now, and there's a survey that just recently came out that said the number one job script in there is AI literacy. They want you to come into the organization ready and already knowing things about AI so that you can shortcut it. And we want to make sure, as we're going through this, that we are giving you tools to protect your information, protect your security, protect your client data, and all of those things. And S&S is going to share with you all of the amazing things that they are doing to support you in your quest of AI. So here's the going old school to go new school. So if you are considering overhauling your company, with AI, this is step one. The way we automated the plumbing company was this. We brought everyone around the table who had a stake in the process. And please, if you hear nothing else from me today, this is number one. You need to effectively communicate to your employees and to your team what your AI strategy is. Because if you do not, there's a lot of fear. There's concern, there's anxiety. If you thought quiet quitting was a problem during the pandemic, this is something brand new. This is employees who don't want to learn because they're afraid for losing their jobs. I run into it in my consulting work all the time. And at first, I didn't understand what was happening. Like, why is this team not responding? Why are they not doing their assignments? They did not want to do it. They were not clearly communicated to from the top, saying, this is our strategy, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, this is what it means for your job. It's going to require some courageous conversations. The second thing is I created, and this is going to be in your handout, a Kickstarter. All of the things that you could possibly AI in your business, plus some, would be here. And then I'll give you all of the tools. This is one of the things we did in the plumbing company, which is a huge game changer, especially if you are a smaller, medium-sized company. I took all of our old policies and procedures that had not been updated in years, used the AI, and used the AI-assisted Trainial, like training and manual together, and I created this onboarding system. I wanted to see how fast I could do it. And I did it in 5 days. I systemized over 2,000 processes and procedures. Now, what does this mean? How does that help you? Well, it's retention, because it created 7 hours of onboarding training, which up until that point, you would not be able to create that yourself. It would take you a year. Only large companies could afford to have a system like this, but now anybody can have it. I also want to point out this other phenomenon. I am not a tech bro with a hoodie, as my introduction said, so I want to just talk about tech-splaining. So this is a phenomenon that I find out there when someone assumes that you don't know about tech. So now, effective right now, you get to be super cool with your team, your kids, your grandkids, because you now know tech. And you're going to know how to stack. You're going to know how to build your tech stack. You're going to know how to layer on AI, and you get to be in the program. So here's the first thing that I want to share with you. You hear a lot about prompting AI, right? Yes? Like, does everyone think they do it really well? Okay. Well, 2 weeks ago now, OpenAI launched ChatGPT 5. Huge news for those in the digital world. In my arena, everybody's been waiting for this thing, and they've been teasing it forever. 5, woo! Well, they launched it half-baked, because what it was supposed to do is it was supposed to figure out which model. So in the past, if you want to get a response about something, you would have had to use the drop-down and pick which model of GPT you would want to use. Well, it's confusing, especially if you're not a tech person, so people weren't really getting it. So maybe the higher tech people were, but most people were not. So they launched GPT-5, and the drop-down goes away for 48 hours. People are freaking out. There was like a worldwide meltdown of people, what's going on? All of the socials are blowing up. And people are freaking out because of the fact that you couldn't do the drop-down. But what came out of that boo-boo, which they came out publicly and apologized for and all that, was this. 77% of you and me and everyone in the world were using it wrong. Because if you were using it correctly, the drop-down would have mattered to you. You would have known about it. So everyone's just been using it like a souped-up Google search. But prompting is really the key to get the best results. And in order to do that now, believe it or not, you can ask the AI to show you how to prompt. So you can ask the AI to write a prompt for you to do blank. I want to write 30 days of content. I want to write all of my performance reviews. I want whatever it is that you want to do in order to prompt efficiently is to give it a persona. You are a top HR representative, and you are going to help me with my performance reviews. I need you to write them in this kind of column width. I want this kind of heading. I want it to have checkboxes, whatever it is. Being that specific now with GPT-5 is key. But you can ask the AI to write the prompt for you now. So that is a huge, huge improvement. Another thing, and I put this in the handout as well, bipartisan committee, surprisingly, can agree on this. They did a giant survey in the United States recently. The results came out about 4 weeks ago about what is happening in companies all around the country with using AI. Well, a couple of interesting things came out of that. A lot of interesting things, but one of them is that there is a disparaging rate of adoption in Middle America. So from Iowa to West Virginia, the adoption rate was a lot lower. It also said that it was a socioeconomic response that certain areas in the lower income were not applying it as quickly. But that still doesn't stop the tech. And here is how you can see all of the different areas that you can use inside of ChatGPT. Now, I meet people all the time who don't have the upgraded version. It is $20 a month. Lots of reasons to have it. And I'm not an AI salesperson for OpenAI, but here's the thing. You protect your data on the free versions, on the paid versions. On the free versions, whenever you search, you are giving them permission to share your information. You also don't have the opportunity to contain your company's information. If you've got all of your employees going out and using their own AI at work because they want to do things faster, better, cheaper, whatever it is, and they're using their own personal devices, you can't control it. So I really encourage you, because now, and the reason I have that drop down, you can see all of those connectors there that you can see on the drop-down, use connectors. That means if you use this, you can connect to your OneDrive, to your database, to your Google Drive. There's dozens of connector points in there that you can connect the AI. On the good side of that, you get to analyze data. So if you want to look at the last 10 years of production or trends or whatever you want to gauge, genius, super genius. I have a client who did that, and within a couple of hours, they saved $140,000 on overtime because they were ineffectively predicting their workflow each year in a manufacturing environment. So just by adjusting who was working when, they were able to fix it. But when you're on the free versions, you don't get to protect that. You'll also see something else on there that's been showing up of late. It's called agent mode. Has anybody used it? Okay. So agents, and you're going to hear a lot about this. Agents, agents, agents. Some of you who are as old as me know what that is. For the younger folks, I'll tell you later tonight at the cocktail party. But agents are almost like employees, right? Microsoft put out a big study, which they do every single year, the Work Trends Report of 2025, and it talked about how the frontier firm, and I wish for all of you to be the frontier firm, was going to be able to use agents, and there would be supervisors, human supervisors, to supervise the AI. But an agent works like an employee or a really, really, really smart intern. and you can give that agent a job, and it works independently. So as an example, I created an agent the other day. I travel a lot. And I created an agent that knows my likes, dislikes, where I want to go, whatever I want to do, and it now is scraping my calendar, finding trips that I need to book, and is bringing all the information to me, and to the point where I just have to click and pay. Now, also, be careful with that. Right? It is connecting to the internet, and it could go rogue. And if you've been using AI at all, you know that it's got some limitations, known as hallucinations. So it doesn't always give you the best result. Now, if you want to learn all you want to know about agents, how they work, how they build, here's a little secret website that many people do not even know exists. It is the back end of ChatGPT, OpenAI. So what you can do, you can go back there, anyone can go and look in there. It gives you instructions on every single thing that you would need to know to effectively use ChatGPT. It tells you how to prompt, tells you how to build an agent, tells you how to build a custom GPT, tells you how to do any function that this software does is there. And if you really want to geek out, you can connect to the community, and you can go back and forth with other people and hear what they have to say. Well, there's a lot of different AIs, and you may think to yourself, well, which one am I going to use? This is so confusing. I don't know. I don't even know which one. If I need a different one for each job, what is it? Well, this is one of my favorite programs. It's called chathub.gg. Now, make sure you put in .gg, because .com is a porn site, and I feel as though SNS would be cross with me if I roll that out to you without seeing it. But what you're allowed to do in here, so this is $19 a month. You can use 15 different AIs and watch them all work at the same time. So you can put one prompt in there. So what I'm asking it here, because I'm sure it's hard to see all those letters, and I put this video in the handout too. But what I asked it to create 30 days of content for me for social media. Then what I'll do, once that's done, I can then connect it to Canva. Sure, most of you use Canva, know how that works. You can connect it to Canva, upload it, and Canva will create 30 days of posts with your template, and then you can just click Post. And you can post them on Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want to do. But this is doing 30 days of content just that fast. So super cool. There's a free version, paid version. You can also play around with the evil Chinese versions that our government is very concerned about. And if you want to talk to me more about all of that, about how AI is growing and the outside influences from around the world, I'm happy to have that conversation with you. It's boring to us non-geeks, I think. The next few slides that I'm going to show you are some really cool things that have come out of Google Gemini in the last couple weeks. Who's on a Google platform? You use Gmail, Workspace, all that. It is absolutely amazing, the things that they've come up with. And where I'm going to show you how to use these is when you interact with clients. If you interact with staff, you need to do research. These are the tools that are going to be the easiest way. So the first one I'm going to show you is Notebook LM. It's free for now. That's what I'm saying. It's free for now. So go enjoy it while you can, because I don't think that they're going to have something this amazing for free for long. So here's Notebook LM. What I did is I put the SNS website in there, just the URL. So that's it. And this is what I got.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to, cut through all the complexity and give you those clear, actionable insights you need right now. And today, wow, we are plunging into a topic that's, well, it's more than just a buzzword. It's really reshaping how every business operates. Artificial intelligence, AI.
It really is everywhere.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, it can feel like trying to drink from a fire hose, right?
Absolutely. Information overload.
Exactly.
What you're hearing is a podcast that Notebook LM created about the website and all the things that I pulled off the website. You think about the training opportunities. You're a smaller company. You have a staff that would really rather listen to a podcast than sit in your presentation room and look at all the rules and regs and all the great things that you've come up with. You can now turn any piece of content into a podcast. And Notebook LM can also now be downloaded on your phone. So you can have a whole repository. Another way to use it, amazing, you can do it for a client. So say you have a prospect. Who's in sales? Okay. We're all in sales, basically. Like, we're selling our husband and our wife, we're selling our companies, we're selling our clients. You can use this in the most amazing way for prospecting. You can create, first of all the information you ever wanted to know about your client in advance. You could also send them the podcast. Be like, I made this for you, isn't this cool? But also that comes out of this, there is a mind map document. So if you're using it for strategic planning, bam, it's genius. You can also pull down frequently asked questions. You can pull down all kinds of notes. I won a speaking engagement using this process because I was the one who did the research and had the great questions to ask. So if time is a factor, now here's something else that is brand new inside of Notebook LM, just came out about a week ago. In addition to the podcast, it created this entire PowerPoint video. Here. And it made this video about the organization. It's 15 minutes long, and it made this entire video about SNS. Could you imagine how you could use this for prospecting and for sales? It's genius, and it helps you to have the competitive edge. Another thing that I've also used inside of Notebook LM is I had this video that went viral, got 4 million views on LinkedIn, named me a LinkedIn Asia influencer on AI. I had no idea how that happened. So I was able to put the video inside of Notebook LM, and it analyzed the video and then gave me the feedback of why that happened. Okay, that's an easy use case, but what if you want to evaluate your competitors' information and videos that you see on the website or out in social media? Why is this one going viral? How do I get mine to do it? You can also have it evaluate all your videos to see how you're doing and get suggestions. Another final one here, I had a Zoom meeting, which most of us record. It clicks yes, okay, you can record it. I took the Zoom video and I put it into the program and I had it create for me notes and create a proposal for my client based off of the results. So this is what it did for me, and here is the proposal that it created. It created a 15-page proposal off of my Zoom note call. So think about how you can use that. Pretty cool. Another thing that just evolved in the last couple of days, and I made this for you, this is a storybook that you can create inside of the new Google products on any topic. You can make it focus on young people, you can make it focus on adults, you can make it focus on whatever you want. So what I did is I took the history of SNS and I put it into the storybook prompt, and it created this beautiful storybook for me, which is 10 minutes long. Another really great use. And there's the actual program. And in case you were wondering, I don't work for Google. And I don't have stock in them or anything. Oh, okay. All right, moving on. I thought it was funny. Okay, Who spends a lot of time making PowerPoint presentations? A couple of you? All right, well, here you go. Just as fast, I did not speed this up. This is a program called Gamma, GAMMA.app. You can use it for free up to a certain point. I have the paid version because I have my whole brand kit in there. All I did once again is put in the prompt with the URL, and it created this entire PowerPoint in this amount of time. It was actually 1 minute. So this is how fast it works. And you can either use your own images or you can have it create images. It links to 3 or 4 different image models for free. So when you pay the price for Gamma, you get all of the other image models, which saves you about $85 a month. And so it took everything off the website and made this PowerPoint. You can also make PDFs. You can make all different versions of the PowerPoints. You can make videos in there, anything that you need on the presentation side. And then you can edit it as it's going. You can also now create animations in there, which is something new. Something else that you will see as a handout, the United States has a very, very strong policy now on where we're going with AI. And if that is something that you're interested in or concerned about, I put that in there just so you can see this is the plan, where the data centers are going. What are our plans with universal AI going outside of the United States? Why are they trying to keep all the data centers here? How do we sell chips and things to foreign nations? So all of that is in there for you. And I want you to be careful as we're going through this to be mindful of the digital denialist person. So as you start rolling this out in your organization or in your community or in with your employees and clients, you will find that there's going to be people who are not going to play with AI. And that's unfortunate because they're missing all of this wonderful technology that can be used in your organization.